Now, we've been roaming the halls looking for great presentations, great posters, but we spotted something that isn't strictly either of those, but which we had to bring you. So welcome to Anja Neumann. Anja is with the Diabetes Museum in Munich. Now, Anja, why a Diabetes Museum and who set it up?
So it was set up by my father because I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in 1994. And afterwards he ran after all the new stuff for years, and in 2001 he decided, let's go back to history. And that's how it all started. And now we keep going, collecting all things connected to diabetes, and now we're here.
And you've brought along some things to show us. So let's start over there. What's that silver device there?
Yeah, so the silver one is for transporting syringes. So until the 1960s or 70s, you always had glass syringes. And it was rather hard to transport them so they do not get broken. And you always have to keep them sterile. And so this one was filled up with alcohol, pure alcohol. You put in the syringe over there and some needles, and you were able to close it and carry it around.
So it was both a drinks cabinet and an insulin transporter.
Yeah.
And I'm very struck as well when you took out the needle there, how thick the needle was.
Yeah, but this one is rather thin, so on the second thing we've brought along.
So show us that.
This one is with the needles.
Let me give that. So I'm going to show that to the camera because at the bottom we have a needle which was used in what kind of era?
As insulin got found in the 1920s. So it's a little bit wrong because the bag is made of plastic, but it's the 16 gauge as it was used in that time.
You do not want, ladies and gentlemen, to have a 16 gauge needle.
So it looks like veterinarian,
It
yes.
looks like veterinarian medicine, yes, absolutely. 12 gauge came in what sort of time? What sort of date?
21, yeah, maybe in the 30s, 40s. So this one is rather thin. It got rather fast. And the big part was then with 29 was when plastic syringes, single-use syringes came over at the 1970s, 1980s.
And the shock is how recent that is. I mean, it's really not that long ago. Okay, so let's turn now to insulin pumps. Show us these two things you've got here.
Yeah, so this colorful one, bright one, is the Mill Hill infuser from 1976. And it's not a classic insulin pump, so if you pop it out, there's a plastic syringe in there, and it's always this mechanic with a big screw. And that's why this is an insulin syringe pump. So auto syringe, let me say like this. And the first real insulin pump all over the world, because they had a specific cartridge and a little motor pressing it up, was the ProMeters from Siemens.
And that, what date is that?
This one is 1981.
Dad's over there, by the way.
That's over there. And it was 1981, and as I told before, the first one with a special cartridge, so it was a little plastic bag, and this was pressed empty through the catheter as we know today.
Now, you have type 1 diabetes yourself.
Yeah.
So when you look at this, are you horrified by it?
Not that much, because I know the things like blood glucose meters from earlier times. I think it's not that much fun, but I'm more like a doer, and I always wanted to try all those things as we got it to the museum. And my dad always told me, oh my God, you can't do it. You can't use those syringes or blood glucose meters. And that's why we just keep on looking and not on wearing it. And afterwards, I think it's a better idea to just look at it.
So finally, tell us what this is.
This one is the first blood glucose meter with one test strip.
The first blood glucose meter with one test strip. Can I just tell you that this is like a brick? It's
Yeah.
hugely heavy.
And
And were you supposed to carry that around in your handbag?
yes, but the main problem was that it did not work with batteries or accus, so you always need 220 volts to use it. So you were able to carry it around, was rather heavy, but you can only use it in-house.
It's fantastic. So what date is that?
This one is 1968, and the wonderful reason about this one is that you can switch those scales. So you have the possibility to measure up from 10, if you turn around, up to 1,000 milligram blood glucose.
Wow.
Big range. Hopefully you would not need it, but it was possible in this time.
Extraordinary. Well, thank you so much for showing us those, and be very grateful to all those nice manufacturers that some of you will have seen during the Congress, because luckily there are modern versions of these things now. Thank you again.
Thank you for taking us over.